This program is rightly called the India Educators Dialogue, where we shall be coming together off and on to discuss various facets of education in modern India. It's quite important, you see. Education, if I remember correctly, is not just information gleaned from textbooks. Education is much, much more than that. And today, when we talk of education, for some reason, for some very valid reasons, we go back 15th of July 2015, when the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, launched the wonderful scheme which we called the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. Obviously, the Kaushal Vikas Yojana is primarily for students from ITI, as I was reading, and to make them more employable. The word employability has gained a lot of importance, and it is equally relevant to institutes of higher learning as well. So before I go any further, let me first introduce the panel to you, and then I'll take on a few more things and ask some relevant questions. We have then Dr. Tapan Kumar Nayak from IMS Ghaziabad. So we were talking of employability. Now employability is all about being job ready, being market ready. Now these are just buzzwords. If taken without a necessary base or basis. And buzzwords have never helped an individual nor a country, which is very obvious. Let me first talk of education. Education, according to me, has three keywords: access, quality, and distribution. Access obviously means either the student comes to the place of learning, or the place of learning goes to the student. So far as this is concerned, we've seen great improvement in the country. Distribution is obviously about an equitable demographic presence of institutes of learning in a particular area. Quality, when we come to quality, this is where all the funny things lie, and this is what the panel today is going to talk about. Very interesting, Dr. Verma, talking about that only 10 to 15% of the students that we are producing, or we have been producing, are job ready, and they might give rise to a demographic bulge. I would really love to have your opinion, Dr. Tapan Kumar Nayak. If the basic aim of converting every student into a job ready student by 2022, as the Prime Minister said, do you think that can really be a reality? Because if we already had the infrastructure, if our institutes already had the infrastructure, why is it that this was not happening?
It's nice point. I'd like to take two things before I move into this particular point. First point is that the quality in the system of higher education, because I hope it is linked to the skill development. What exactly we mean by quality in the system of higher education? That's a buzzword, as you said, that we focus on employability. Now, what exactly do you mean by employability? Employability means that the student, the job seeker, should be a skilled one. The employability means there should be a proper relation between what he has learned and what he is going to practice in the corporate sector. Third point is that there should be a proper linkage between the industry-academia interface. Student should be ready enough to work in the corporate sector in line with what he has studied. Second, I am moving to the skill development. Skill development, there is a huge mismatch. We should first map the mismatch. What exactly do you mean by mapping the mismatch? Mismatch in the sense of demand and supply of the students, demand and supply of the skilled students, right? And we know basically there are three different types of mismatch. One, there is a geographical mismatch. Second, there is a sectoral mismatch. Third, there is a skill mismatch. Geographical mismatch, students are ready to go for the work, but the employers are not reaching to them. A student in Jammu Kashmir, he may be well developed, well skilled, but the employers are not reaching to them. Second, sectoral development, a student from one sector is missing out to the next another sector. Skill mismatch, that the student having one particular skill is not able to cope up with the another particular skill required by the industry. So we should first let us focus on the interface between what industry people require, what the corporate needs, and how we develop our students in the universities or academic institutions.
An interesting revelation. One of our panelists wants to add more to this particular query, and we have Dr. Tapan Nayak.
Well, I would like to take the points raised by both Dr. Verma and Dr. Suresh, that the sabbatical leaves for the professors or the industry people to the educational institutes for the skill development issues. I have a point here, rather I would more go with Dr. Verma here, that most of the B schools in line with that have started recruiting the people from industries, keeping in mind that the industry people will contribute more to a practice oriented education. But what we find, since my 12 to 15 years of education career, what I find personally, honestly, that the people whom we recruit from industry, either by choice or by their interest, they miserably failed so far as teaching learning process is concerned.
So, you see, so education is getting more and more complex. I mean, I thought it's going to be a very simple thing, and that everybody is going to say, yes, skill development should be incorporated, and then we'll be at a loss for words to how to continue the debate. But this is getting more and more interesting, and how or what they really think of skill development and its relevance to India. My request is, please stick to skill development.
Well, honestly, just to support the Skill India movement of Government of India, when I say we, the Government of India, the industry people and the academicians should focus on mapping the gap of mismatch of the demand and supply of skilled workforce through a practice oriented knowledge, either inside the classroom or through a different kind of activities inside or outside.
Frankly, I did not presume that skill development would become such a complex issue, and which would be debated with so much of heartfelt energy. There's just one thing I'd like to say, and that is, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And this is what the decision makers and the people who need to have the right political will to push skill development further. And I do hope Prime Minister Modi is watching this program. There's a lot to learn from fabulous panelists we had today.